Well, hello to everyone, and thank you all so much for joining us for the Kingdompreneur Bible Success Call. It is a pleasure, as always, to serve and assist you. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. We are truly grateful. I'm also excited, as always, to introduce the host for this amazing call, Dr. Stan Harris, a.k.a. Dr. Breakthrough. He is an evangelist. He's a husband, a father. He's a life coach. He's a mentor and a mentee. He's a student as well as a teacher. And if you would like to know more about Dr. Harris, you can always visit his website, www.drbreakthrough.com. All right, Dr. Stan, take it away.
All righty, thank you. That's my lovely wife, Nadia. My ABCD, that stands for Adorable Brown Caramel Delight. And we say we're a covenant couple building covenant relationships based on the covenant of promise, and we aspire to inspire breakthroughs even after we've expired. So we've committed ourselves to educating, elevating, and empowering people to break through any barrier that would try to hinder their success, and we do that by empowering them to break to the best version, or at least a better version of themselves. This Kingdompreneur Bible Success Call, we started 7.5 years ago. I thought it'd last 1 week, maybe 2. And here it is 7.5 years later. And in a nutshell, because I've got a special guest speaker, I'm just going to tell you briefly, what is the Kingdompreneur in a nutshell? You know, Matthew 6:33, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. The problem is so many times people go after things and they miss the truth. However, when you make the truth your priority, then God will trust you with the things. And so a kingdompreneur, my definition in a nutshell, a kingdompreneur is one who allows God to provide through them a product or service to people for profit with pleasure to promote the kingdom while honoring the King of Kings. If you provide a product or service to people and there's no profit, you're a missionary, and there's nothing wrong with being a missionary, but we got too many Christian people that think they're in business. You're not in business, you're a missionary, you need help. And again, nothing wrong with being a missionary, but say you're a missionary, don't say you're a business person and you can't support yourself. So if you provide a service or product to people and there's no profit, the first M, you're a missionary. You provide a product or service to people for profit, but there's no pleasure, the second M, you're miserable. And we know that's not the will of God. The blessing of the Lord maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it, Proverbs 10:22. Number 3, you provide a product or service to people for profit with pleasure. Eventually, you'll be a millionaire. Proverbs 28:20, a faithful man shall abound with blessings. However, the fourth M is what we're all about. When you allow God to provide through you a product or service to people for profit with pleasure to promote the kingdom while honoring the King of Kings, then the fourth M, you now manifest all that he has for you. Ecclesiastes 2:26, for God giveth to a man that is good in his sight, both wisdom and knowledge and joy, but to the sinner travail that he may gather and heap up. Why? That he may give to him that is good before God. Proverbs 22:4, with humility and fear of the Lord are riches and honor in life. See, the world has riches but no honor. The world may have riches, but they have no life. L-I-F-E, live in freedom every day. Life, live in favor every day. And so this call is dedicated to empowering kingdom-minded people with strategies and systems and techniques. And we bring special guest speakers from time to time. And so tonight, we've got a very special guest speaker, Dr. Donald Jenkins. Now, he and his lovely wife, Dr. Lily, they have the newbreedachievers.com website. You've got to check it out, newbreedachievers.com. But he shows you how you can become a certified purpose development coach. And they've got some powerful, powerful information. He pastored for a while in Tennessee. He works with corporate clients, just an all-around great guy. He's got a great information, a heart as big as Texas, loves to have fun, and loves to empower people with getting tuned into their purpose. And so teaching people about their purpose, IQ, and so forth, just absolutely fabulous information. So Dr. Jenkins, I want to bring you to the front of the call. Thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule to minister and to bless the people. Dr. Jenkins.
Dr. Breakthrough, can you hear me okay, sir?
Loud and clear.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, man, I'll tell you what, I am so honored to be partnering with you and your beautiful wife, the ABCD. I love it. I feel like I'm a part. I've always been a part of the team. I know we've only known each other for a short period of time, but the synergy that, we have between what God has allowed us to do over the years, man, I can feel it. It seems like a synergy that's always been there, even though we didn't know each other. So I just want to express my gratitude for your leadership, your gratitude for, having that heart as big as Texas as well, to be a blessing to God's people, man. And I appreciate you open up the call to give me an opportunity to share with the people tonight. So want to get that at the forefront, man, before we dive into a very powerful subject. And I just want to just let everyone know I'm here to add value. That's what we do here at the Purpose Development Institute. I'm not going to talk a lot about our company and what we do. You can go to my website and get all that information. This is about you tonight, all right? The reason why you're on this call is because I want to add value to you. One of the things that we teach, all of our clients here at the Purpose Development Institute is that we help you raise your purpose IQ, because the reason why that's important, because it gives you the insight on how to add value to more people. We always say it like this, is that when you show up, then everyone's value should go up, and that's what kingdom is all about. When Jesus showed up and started preaching the kingdom, then guess what? Our value automatically went up. That was proof that God had put a high value on us. And I want to share tonight something that's very powerful that hopefully is going to raise your purpose IQ tonight, right now, on this call. All right? Going to give you a better understanding as to the kingdom, expand your understanding about God's kingdom and how you connect that with everything in your life as we go through this short presentation that's going to be revealing to you, what does kingdom, purpose, and Egypt have in common? I want to say that again. What does kingdom, purpose, and Egypt have in common? Okay, so before I dive into that, write this website down, because I want to be a blessing to you tonight as well. That's what kingdom business is all about. And the website is www.newbreedachievers.com/HP-life. And that's HP as in Harry Paul -life, LIFE. So that's newbreedachievers.com/HP-life, because that's going to be where I can connect with you to bless you tonight. All right. And I'll talk to you more about that at the end of the call. So let's get back to the subject at hand here. And again, I want to talk about, what does kingdom, purpose, and Egypt have in common? This is very important for you to be able to understand the commonality between these three subject matters that I just mentioned. So in our objectives tonight that I want to achieve on this call is that, number one, we're going to examine the Hebraic nature of kingdom, purpose, and Egypt. All right, I promise you, this is not going to be one of those calls where you're going to be like, oh, I wonder where this dude's going with all of this stuff. I promise you, it's going to be an eye-opener. I'm going to tell you how we got to this revelation as well. So we're going to examine the Hebraic nature of those three things right there. That's going to take you to another level. It's going to allow you to make a quantum leap in being that kingdompreneur, a quantum leap in creating the conditions that's going to be conducive for you producing that product or service, that you're offering to God's people for profit. Dr. Breakthrough, I was over there. I'm up here taking notes, man. I love it. I love it. I'm sitting up here, taking my notes down on what you said in regards to that. And I said, yes, that's exactly what being a kingdompreneur is all about. So let's dive deep in that, because my second objective, I only have two tonight. So my second objective is that we need to create an action plan to maximize your kingdom impact. All right? Create an action plan. So I'm going to give you an action plan. You got to take action. Tell yourself, don't just get on this conference call and not take action. The kingdom is all about action. Jesus didn't come down here and just talk about kingdom without taking action. Everything he did was about executing the kingdom of God, and that's what God has called us to do. But here's the key to our execution. the key to executing kingdom principles, executing kingdom influence is connected to you raising your purpose IQ. So here's the deal. Real quickly, let me kind of give you a little quick understanding as to what a purpose IQ is. You're probably saying, man, what in the world is a purpose IQ? So let me help you out a little bit. Your purpose IQ is basically your insight that you have, that you developed, you've acquired in your lifetime on how to not just find purpose, but leverage the strength that comes from purpose. See, anybody can find purpose, but it takes some special people to leverage the strength that comes from purpose. See, that's what Yeshua, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, that's what he did. He came down here. He didn't have to find his purpose. He came down here to leverage the strength that came from purpose. He was the perfect role model of purpose development. He was the perfect role model of how we are supposed to be pursuing purpose, kingdom in our life. So that's what, being in a part of God's kingdom, that's what it's all about, is having that insight. So your purpose IQ basically determines your insight on how to leverage that strength in the way you think, how to leverage that strength in the way that you talk, how to leverage the strength that comes from purpose in the way that you act. Sometimes I tell people, I say, listen, I'm trying to hear what you're saying, but your character talking so loud, man, I can't even hear what's coming out of your mouth. Because at the Purpose Development Institute, we always say that your character is the largest percentage of your purpose. So when purpose manifests and show itself up in your life, the first place it's going to show up is in your character. And when the kingdom of God comes to manifest itself on behalf of the believer or within the life of the believer, the kingdom wants to manifest itself through your purpose, which means that it's going to show up in your character. You always say it like this, that the kingdom of God will not go where our character has not been conditioned to take it. I'm going to say it again. The kingdom of God will never go where your character has not been conditioned to take it. So God said, go into the world. Go into the world and preach the gospel. Go into the world, make an impact. Go into the world and do business in the marketplace. Go into the world and provide, that product and service for profit. Go into the world and do it. But you got to develop your character to take the kingdom of God and do business with people that might not even know God, so that you can influence them on behalf of the kingdom. So when they see you, when you show up in the marketplace, they have had an encounter with the kingdom. I'm going to say it again. When you show up, they have had not an encounter with you, not an encounter with your attitude and, the things that we bring to the table. But guess what? We've gotten all that out of the way because we want them to have an encounter with the kingdom. See, when Yeshua came and, from the manger to the cross, he allowed us to see and to have an encounter with the kingdom. When they encountered Jesus Christ, Yeshua, our Messiah, guess what happened? They encountered the kingdom. And that's where we're supposed to be. This is what Kingdompreneurs is all about. And it's not just what we do in church, y'all. Kingdompreneurs are out there, we're inventing products, we're coming up with witty inventions. We're coming up with new ideas. A few years ago, I invented a product that sold in Walmart nationwide. It was kingdom principles that allowed me to put my product in every Walmart across the country. It was kingdom principles that allowed me to walk into a Kohl's department store and see the thing that God had given me on the shelves of major retailers across the country. I learned a very powerful lesson in that process. And I said, creation is not complete until what you have created is given back into you now. So in other words, if God has given you a creative idea, then guess what? That creative idea should be able to give back unto you profits. It should be able to give back into you life. It should be able to give back to your family all the things that God have designed to give back unto you. So you got to make sure that you understand, how to engage in those principles. And what I'm going to share tonight is going to help you tremendously. So we're going to look at how do we create this action plan. Now, before I do that, I want to bring something to you because a few years ago, I had the privilege of being able to study under a gentleman by the name of Rabbi Daniel Lappin. I took a chance and I wrote that Rabbi Lappin out of Seattle, Washington. I said, man, I need a mentor God has given me this passion for Jewish roots, and I need somebody to help me. I need to go to the best of the best of the best. I want you to pour into me. And he wrote me back, after a few days and said, man, I would be delighted and honored to be able to mentor you and show you everything that I know. And I'm going to tell y'all, man, when God made that connection, I bought everything that the man had. I told Rabbi, Rabbi, I bought the books that you hadn't even wrote yet. I bought everything. I dived in deep because I was so consumed with understanding the kingdom of God at a different level. And one thing that Rabbi taught us, he said, you can read your Bible from Genesis to Revelation and get in the English text, and get a microscopic morsel of wisdom. But when you look at the language that God spoke in the beginning, the Hebraic language, then you're going to be able to understand the culture of the kingdom. I went, wow, man, you mean if we look at the language, the Hebrew language, then there's other things that God want to reveal underneath the surface of what we're reading in the Bible? And I'm telling you, this journey has been the most life-changing journey in my life. As a matter of fact, everything we do at the Purpose Development Institute is built on what Rabbi taught us and taught me in that whole process. Everything. Purpose development was built on the Hebrew language. Purpose development was built on those roots. We call it the source root analysis. And see, here's the deal. This is the reason why Rabbi says it's important for us to understand it. He said that when God spoke the world into existence, he spoke Hebrew. That's why when we look at our Old Testament Bible, it's written in Hebrew. They can't trace the origin of the Hebrew language back. It just showed up on the planet, because it's a language that came out of the heartbeat of God. So the Jewish rabbis have what they call the 4 levels of studying the Word of God. 4 levels. And I was like, wow, I thought I was doing good. You telling me that there's 4 other levels? And then I begin to understand what those 4 levels are. And just to kind of keep it short, the highest level of studying the Word of God from the Jewish perspective, the Jewish rabbi perspective, is called the sod. It's called the secret level. And it's the studying, the analyzing of the Hebrew letters. And you're going to see why this is important. I promise you, I'm not going to bore you. This is going to be a powerful experience for you tonight. All right? So it's saying that this is the highest level of study. And they said the reason why is because each Hebrew letter contains wisdom that connects you to a higher purpose. They are codes of purpose. They are codes that give you more insight to your purpose. There are codes that expands the sophistication of purpose beyond what we've been taught all of our life about finding your passion and finding your purpose. And this is why when you hear me say this all the time, is that purpose is more sophisticated than our passion. That's the reason why I say that, is because I went to that level. I began to go to the root cause of this thing called purpose. And I'm telling you, it's wisdom that will absolutely blow your mind. So let's start with that tonight. Let's examine the words kingdom, purpose, and Egypt in a Hebraic perspective. And it is going to be powerful. Now, let me tell you this. Let me give you this story first. When you look at the Hebrew letters, starting with, it reads from right to left. And it starts with the aleph. And it ends with the tav. All right? There's a phenomenon that occurs in the middle of the Hebrew letters. All right, from the aleph to the tav. Unlike the Hebrew, I would say the English alphabet from A to Z, nothing really occurs in our language. Nothing's really special about, our language. But in the Hebrew alphabet, there's something that occurs in the middle of the Hebrew letters. And what occurs is the middle 3 letters of the Hebrew alphabet spells king. Very powerful. Which is pronounced Melech in Hebrew. It begins with the Hebrew letter called Mem, and I'm going to talk to you more about that. It is pronounced Melech, and it means king. And the biggest letter is right in the middle of the Hebrew letter alphabet. In other words, he's communicating messages to us. Is that number one, if you're going to be a kingdompreneur, you got to think big. That's what that message is telling you. You got to think like a king. You got to think like a king. You got to think dominion, and you have to think big, because that's what the letter Lamed, which is the biggest letter of the Hebrew alphabet, it means to think big. So God has coded a purpose on the inside of you that reveals that you should be a big thinker. You see, that's why when I was trying to put my product in Walmart, I wasn't trying to think about just taking it to my local store. I wanted to think big. I wanted to put it in Walmart. I wanted to put it in the store that, that people could recognize, that they can go in and buy it off the shelf. I was thinking big because that's what kingdom mindset is all about. I was thinking like a king. So whatever it is that God called you to do, you got to begin to connect that thing to a higher purpose and begin to think big about it. All right? But here's the deal. When you spell the word king backwards in Hebrew, because the Hebrew language is full of revelation where you can reverse the language, reverse the words, it gives you a different meaning when you look at it from left to right than it does when you look at it from right to left. So when you reverse the spelling of the word king, it spells the word kalim. It's where we get our word calamity from. So what it means is that if you fail to develop yourself to be in the class of a king, then you experience calamity. And this is where we see a lot of people at in the world today because they're not living in the kingdom. They don't understand kingdom principle. So the world is in calamity. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm telling you, this is in my gut right now. See, the world is in calamity, and we got to begin to get out of our comfort zone and begin to come up higher and begin to put ourselves in a better position and a better place of purpose so that the kingdom of God can manifest itself through us, through what we set our hands to what we do. You see, that's what God is calling. He's calling us up higher, to a higher place of understanding. We can't be satisfied with our old levels of understanding. We can't be satisfied with just doing things the same way that we've done it for years, expecting different results. We got to come up higher. That's what I did when I reached out to Rabbi. I just said, you know what, God? I don't hear anybody else teaching this stuff. I'm going to come up higher. And when I had my church in Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee, I came on TV. We had a TV program up there, and I brought these Hebrew letters out, and I had them flashing across the screens, and I had them going everywhere. I had them doing all this kind of stuff. I had them doing this, and I had somebody come up to me on the street and say, man, that stuff that you're talking about with the Hebrew letters is good. It's real good. You really blessing us. I mean, strangers on the street. And then here's what they said. But you're not meant to be in the South. You was meant to be in New York, where they understand this stuff. I said, you must be out of your mind. You must absolutely be crazy. If I'm supposed to be in New York, I would have been in New York. God put me here because he's trying to change your mindset. He's trying to give you a different understanding about the kingdom. See, we can't, when God give us and introduce a new place, a new territory for us to go to, we can't be so willing and apt to hang on to our old way of thinking. If that's who you are, then it's going to be hard for the kingdom of God to manifest itself inside of you. You see, you got to challenge yourself. I'm telling you, every day, God challenged me for 30 years that I've been doing this to come up higher and learn new things every day. Every day I'm learning new things. You see, so it's a very powerful place of living the kingdom lifestyle. So when we look at the word kingdom in Hebrew, it's spelled Malkut. And one of the places that we see it is in Psalm 145, verse 11. It says, they shall speak of the glory of thy kingdom and talk of thy power. All right. It's the Hebrew word for Malkut. All right. Now notice that the word kingdom there begins with that word, that Hebrew letter that sounds like our M, mem. There's a purpose for that because that letter has a purpose. That letter is speaking a message. That letter is screaming wisdom to us. That letter is crying out. You know, in the book of Proverbs, it says that wisdom is crying out in the streets. In other words, it's crying out with a voice. And it's saying, hey, listen to what I'm trying to tell you. That's what wisdom does. That's what the Hebrew letters does. So that letter, that word kingdom begins with the letter mem. So let's go and find a Hebraic word for the word purpose in Hebrew. All right. We go to Proverbs 15, verse 22. It says, without counsel, purposes are disappointed. But in the multitude of counselors, they are established. Well, when we look at the word purpose, it also begins with the letter mem. Makashabeth is the way it's pronounced. And I'm going, okay, wow, God. See, when you find these things, these happenings in the Hebrew language, it's called a clue. The Jewish rabbi said it's not by coincidence that God did that. There's a clue. God is trying to clue you in to a higher purpose. So this is what we have. We have kingdom beginning with the letter mem. We have purpose now beginning with the letter mem. All right, what about Egypt? Because what we're trying to find is, what does kingdom, purpose, and Egypt have in common?
All right. So when we look at the word Egypt in Genesis 12, verse 2, here's what it says. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. So we find the word Mitzrayim in Egypt. Now we have three words, three critical words in the Bible that begins with the letter Mem. I don't know about you all, but I've learned a long time ago that success leaves clues. You see, success leaves clues. So when we examine why those letters are tied, they have in common the letter Mem. This is what the letter Mem represents. The letter Mem represents development and growth in Hebrew. All right? Development and growth in Hebrew. Every Hebrew letter has a number associated with it. The letter Mem has the number 40 associated with it. The number 40 is significant because the number 40 in Hebrew is symbolic of development and growth. So you kind of getting the message here. We're talking about kingdom, purpose, Egypt. They all begin with the letter Mem. All right? Letter Mem means development and growth. Has a number 40 associated with it. We see God reigning on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. We see Moses spending 3 consecutive 40 days and 40 nights in the presence of God. We see the nation of Israel spying out the land for 40 days and 40 nights. We see them spending 40 years in the wilderness because of their disobedience. We see Jesus being tempted of the devil for 40 days and 40 nights. We see Jesus spending with the disciples, times with the disciples before he was taken up into heaven, 40 days and 40 nights. Now the question is, why is God making so many references to 40? Why is that? There's a purpose for that. Because God was trying to communicate to the believer, to kingdom-minded people, that if you're going to be involved in kingdom business, you're going to have to develop and you're going to have to grow. Because the kingdom of God wants to develop inside of you and it wants to grow inside of you. Purpose wants to develop in you and purpose wants to grow in you. Now, you're probably saying, well, what about Egypt? What about Egypt? How does Egypt play a part in all of this? Egypt is the type and the shadow of a world without God. It's a world without God. Pharaoh was the ruler of Egypt. We live in Egypt today. We see how we live in a world without God. So it's a type and a shadow of a world without God. Now, Egypt does something different than the first two words that I gave you. Egypt begins with the letter Mem and it ends with the letter Mem. When you put some Hebrew letters at the beginning and the end of a word, they take on different forms. So when we look at Egypt, the letter Mem got a different form at the end of the word Egypt that give us a very powerful message that should open up our eyes and put us on a path of development and growth, because here's what the message is saying. The letter Mem has a small opening at the bottom of it, meaning that Egypt will always welcome you with open arms. But once it gets you in its system, it will close in around you and make it difficult for you to maximize your potential, make it difficult for you to experience development and growth. In other words, Egypt is designed to undermine everything that you have developed. That's the mission. That's the role of Egypt. That's what these three words have in common. They're basically saying that your development and growth is critical. And if you do not engage in kingdom activity, then Egypt is automatically, by default, going to undevelop what you have not developed or what you have developed. That's the mission of Egypt, because when you put the letter Mem at the end of the word, it's completely enclosed. So Egypt is an open and a closed case. This is why we see so many people, they're coming to the kingdom, but the world is so enticing to bring them back. It enticed them to come back. Come back. My arms are open. I know church folk don't love y'all over there. We got more love for you out here. Come out here. Come back to Egypt. And it's trying to get its grips around the people of God. So guess what? It can put them in a position to make it difficult for them to unleash the purpose of God inside of them. That's what they all have in common. And as kingdompreneurs, we got to be wise. Matthew 10 talk about that when Jesus said, be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. You know, we have to be wise and understand what we're working against, what we're working in. Egypt is trying to undevelop what I'm trying to develop. We have to understand how Egypt is attacking our purpose. Egypt is trying to exploit your purpose. On every turn, Egypt is exploiting your purpose. All right? It's exploiting the purpose that you're working. Everybody that worked with me at the Purpose Development Institute understand that they got to get involved in raising their purpose IQ, because I can't work with you if you're not getting involved in that into that particular area. I can't work with it because Egypt is going to be working harder against me, you know, trying to undermine what I'm trying to develop. And I need you in the process of understanding how to develop the things that God has on the inside of you, because the kingdom of God continues to grow. It is not stagnated. It is growing every day, and we have to understand that it's a dynamic kingdom and not a static kingdom. But so many times people come into the kingdom, they become stagnated, you know, stagnated with their understanding. Well, God, I already know enough. I went to Bible school, God, and I got enough knowledge, and I don't need to know everything, this stuff that he's talking about purpose. And here's what I tell people all the time. I say, if you think that you know everything you need to know about purpose, you're underestimating the power of God's kingdom. You're underestimating the power of God's kingdom, and you're undermining your own potential. Because every day, I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I have almost 30,000 hours of developing these systems and this strategy. And every day, there's new things that God is dropping into my spirit. And you know what? I think that God does that because he wants to keep us humble. He wants us to know how much we don't know. You know, he wants us to be in a position to, for us to understand how powerful his ingenuity is over our life. And I'm telling you, it's been one of the most powerful journeys that I've ever had. So I'm going to close out with this story. I'm going to close out with a strategy here, all right, to get us into a place of being able to get ourselves, you know, purpose fit in the kingdom. If you're going to be in the kingdom, you need to be purpose fit. Because if you're not purpose fit, I promise you, the enemy is going to exploit weaknesses in you. And I tell leaders this all the time, because I work with a lot of leaders. Say, man, I got this. I'm making a lot of money. I'm successful. I'm doing this. I got all these accolades. It's not about your accolades. It's about you putting yourself in a better position to help more people, because you might have it, but they might not be getting it. You see, I say this all the time. I say America is a content-rich country, but yet at the same time, we're one of the most dysfunctional countries in the world. We have more calamity in our country, and we're a Christian country. But we got a whole lot of calamity in our schools, you know, with kids, you know, having to go to school and worry about whether they're going to come home. We got more calamity in our country than anything, but we're supposed to be kingdom people. All right? So it's time for a shift, y'all. It's time for a shift. It's time to shift our understanding. It's time to say, God, we're covenant people, and we're ready to come up higher with our understanding. We're ready to raise our purpose IQ. We're ready to go to another level, God. We're tired of the mundane. We're tired of church as normal. We're tired of this, what we thought as kingdom as normal. God, we have come to a place to say we don't know anything. So show us your ingenuity. Show us your power. Work through us. Manifest yourself through our purpose. So here's what I need you to do. All right? Tonight only. Tonight only. I am going to give you a very powerful course. It's called the Purpose Fit Soul course. You see, there's a thing that we do here at the Purpose Development Institute. It's called Purpose Fit. You know, Purpose Fit is a strategy. Purpose Fit is something that really prepares you for kingdom living. I'm telling you, this course, everybody I know that have been through this course, it has, I'm talking from pastors to just believers in the pew. I mean, it has blown their mind to help them become purpose fit. Well, what you're probably saying, what is purpose fit? It is when the condition of your thought, speech, and actions have reached a state of an uncompromisable purpose. That's what it means to be purpose fit. All right? If we're going to be kingdompreneurs, we have to be purpose fit. So I'm going to give you this course. This course is $97, and I normally charge for that. If you was to hire me one-on-one coaching, it's thousands of dollars. All right? But I'm going to give you that course tonight if you order the Hacking Purpose Life workbook. That's that link I gave you earlier. www.newbreedachievers.com/HP HP-Life or Hacking Purpose Life. You order that tonight, I'm telling you, these two courses, the Hacking Purpose Life workbook. See, the reason why I wrote the Hacking Purpose Life workbook is because it helps you correct errors in your purpose. And when we continue to make errors in our purpose, we put ourselves in a position where it's difficult for the kingdom to manifest itself through us because we don't have the wisdom, the insight. We haven't, been able to connect our existence and our performance to a higher purpose. So we continue to make errors in our purpose. You see, that's why I wrote the Hacking Purpose Life workbook. It's going to walk you through step by step. So get your copy tonight, all right? Very powerful opportunity for you to take advantage of two critical resources that's going to allow you to fulfill what Dr. Breakthrough just talked about, being a kingdompreneur, in which I love. Dr. Breakthrough, call is back to you, sir. I am honored and happy to be a part of Kingdompreneurs. God bless you.
All righty. Powerful. Thank you. Thank you. By the way, I had that workbook. And so, like you said, you want to go to the website and give that website out one more time. I can hear somebody texting me now. What did he say that website was? And so newbreedachievers.com/HP-Life. dash life. So newbreedachievers.com/HP, okay, like high purpose, HP-Life. And you'll see that workbook that my wife and I have. You definitely deserve to get that. My friend, the Bible says it's iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friends. Jim Rohn, I used to travel and speak with him, and he's the one who made it famous when he said, formal education will help you make a living, but personal development will help you make a fortune. Benjamin Franklin said, empty your wallet into your mind, and your mind will fill your wallet. Les Brown, he and I were speaking together in the UK, and that event, he spoke first and I spoke after him, but he said this. He said, information costs, but it pays for itself 10 times over. Oh, by the way, Les Brown is on these hydration drops as well as, of course, our special guest speaker that you just heard got not just his drops, but actually signed up somebody already. And I believe God is bringing mighty people from the east, the west, the north, and the south. People, number one, have been touched by him. Number two, willing to be tied together. So number three, we can transform the lives of others. So personal development. Here's what Dr. Breakthrough says. What you put in your head that affects your heart determines what comes to your hand. If you want God to bring more to your hand, you got to put more in your head that affects your heart. And so go to www.newbreedachievers.com/HP-Life. And when you get that, tell them again of what they're going to get for free, and they've got to make that order by tonight.
Yes, you're going to get a link from my email at mycoach@newbreedachievers.com, and in that link, it's going to have a password that's going to give you immediate access to the Purpose Fit Soul course. So while you're waiting on the shipment of your Hacking Purpose Life workbook, you're automatically going to be able to start that Purpose Fit Soul course that's going to have the digital download in it, where you can download that manual for that course, and there are 6 audios, 4.5 hours of training that I take you through on how to create a Purpose Fit Soul. So another thing too, Dr. Breakthrough, I know we have pastors on the call. I know we have people that just might be lay people. I actually produced this course for pastors and lay people. So we have a course for both. So if you could, please reach out to me and tell me whether you need the ministry leader version or you just want the version for, just the regular lay people. So I need to know that so I know which link to email you out, and that way you get the appropriate course.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir. And I'm telling you, folks, we have Kingdompreneurs. We've aligned ourselves with Shop Free Mart. We've got some folks on the line here. We were talking earlier, just about everybody, because of the discounts, is a member of Costco's or Sam's Club. Why? discounts. It makes sense. Why'd you want to spend more money? Except Shop Free Mart said, we're going to up the game. We're going to do that on steroids. Well, here's what we're going to do. You're going to have a membership to get the premium products, but what we're going to do is the membership, we're going to make it free. We're going to make it a lifetime. So you don't pay $100 for a one-year membership to have to buy stuff in bulk. No, you're going to pay nothing. It's free. You just got to get a membership. Talk to, whoever connected you to this call or the recording. If they're a member, get their membership, and watch this, and you'll be able to get your membership free, and then you only buy what you want. You still get the biggest discount. So imagine this. You're going to get premium products like Saks Fifth Avenue, like Tiffany's quality premium products, but at Walmart prices and with a customer service akin to Chick-fil-A. You just can't beat it, my friend. It's absolutely incredible. And so we're building a group of what we call consumerpreneurs, which is a committed group of individuals who consume products and utilize a service, but this time with the intent of producing a profit. So if we do it together, we all produce one huge success line where each of us creates a success for the rest of us. It's like the banking industry, and folks got tired of the high percentage rates. And so a group of people came together and they made what's called what? A credit union. Well, my friend, I'm telling you, everybody already drinks water. What about getting hydrated water? Everybody already puts gas in their car. But what about if your car could get like my car, almost 10 miles a gallon difference in increase? Why wouldn't you want to be involved? And so real quick, Les Carter, we're over time, but I want you to hit *6, one of our global ambassadors. He's actually the way I met the Master Purpose Coach, Dr. Jenkins. He's been certified, been through all his programs. And Les Carter, just very briefly, give a quick testimonial of what these products and being part of this company has done for you. Mr. Les Carter. *6, and it should unmute your line, sir. *6 should unmute your line. Unless we lost you. Alrighty, if you're on, let's hit *6, that'll unmute your line very quickly. Okay. Lily Gray, let's see if Lily's out there. Are you still out there, Lily Gray? *6 will unmute your line. Okay. *6 should unmute it. Hey, just give a very abbreviated version of your testimonial, very briefly, so people can know that these products we talk about are real.
My name is Lily Gray. I've been going back and forth to doctors almost 2 years. And on medication, 3 blood pressure medications, 2 of them causes cancer. Then my body swelling, legs turning black. My knees are so swollen. The doctor said I went to 3 surgeons, had to have a surgery on my left knee because it was worse. My meniscus was torn, and because of all the swelling, I damaged my left knee. And when they put me in the hospital, it went to my right knee. But I thank God for Pastor Kenneth Smith. When I heard about the hydration drops, I didn't pay no attention. I'm just listening. And I told Pastor Kenneth Smith that will he give me a bottle of his hydration drops. He brought me a bottle of hydration drops down in Houston. 2 days, my legs was going down. The color coming back. And my family was amazed because they hadn't seen me like that in a long time. And they were so happy to know that their baby sister, which I'm not the baby, but that's what the nickname, legs and gone down and the color. They said, what did you do? What you do? I want to know what you did. I can't believe this. I said, hydration drops. You got to hydrate your stem cells, and you got to hydrate your cells. You can drink all the water in the world, but it ain't hitting those stem cells, and it ain't getting all the toxins off your body like it needs to be. And I thank God for hydration drops and the Biolive. Because I was depressed.
Wow.
I didn't have no energy. The Biolive and a 21-day breakthrough challenge and a 10-day advance. Thank you, Jesus. Back to you, Dr. Breakthrough.
Wow, wow, powerful. And folks, we got so many people on the line that could give testimonials, but let me do this to make it short because we're way over time. Drop this website down, www.200diseases, plural, 200diseases.com. That's with the S at the end, 200diseases.com. Dr. Riskin Wheaton has about 50 years experience. And you scroll down the left-hand side when you get to 200 diseases. And any problem you have, your son, your daughter, your aunt, your nephew, your cat, your dog, and the good doctor will give you, by the way, doctor means teacher, and he's going to help you to be responsible. My word, responsibility, I break that down. It means respond with ability. And he's going to teach you things, some things you can do from home, other things you'll have to order your products from this international discounted kingdom-based buyers club. And, my friend, I'm telling you, people's lives are changing and they're being blessed. And so, my friend, if you'd like to get healthier, wealthier, wiser, or all three, get back to whoever invited you. Get started now. If not, you could end up being poor. P-O-O-R, passing over opportunities repeatedly. Poor, putting obstacles over riches. But if you get the link and get started, you can position yourself to be rich, R-I-C-H, raking in cash happily. Rich, raking in cash honestly. Rich, receiving insight, creating happiness. Rich, residual increase complements happiness. See, I was already happy, but now that I got residual increase, I'm extra happy, my friend. And I'm telling you, we want the same for you. So as our special speaker tonight, Mr. Donald Jenkins said, this call is for you. We want you to be blessed. So, again, take the free gift, www.200diseases.com. And then, lastly, www.freebreakthroughpresentation.com. Freebreakthroughpresentation.com. That's a 24/7 presentation that will allow you to get a breakthrough in your body, a breakthrough in your bank account, and a breakthrough in your brain. God bless you, my friend.